Since Repair Clinic encourages you to perform this repair safely, a warning icon will appear when you should use caution. Before you replace the carburetor repair kit components in your snowblower, make sure the engine has cooled. You can use an 8mm socket to unthread 5 of the 6 bolts securing the muffler cover. You will need to use an 8mm wrench to unthread the 6th bolt. Use a 3/8" socket or nut driver to unthread the mounting bolt, securing the housing to the rear bracket. Next, unthread the screws to release the 2 retaining clamps, holding the housing to the handle. Now use a 1/2" socket to fully unthread the upper bolts, securing the handle assembly. Lower the handle, and you can fully remove the muffler cover. Detach the primer hose from the carburetor. Be prepared for some fuel to spill. Disconnect the wires from the key switch terminals. Use a 10mm socket to unthread the nuts, securing the control housing. Pull the housing off of the mounting bolts. Slide off the carburetor intake gasket. Attach a pinch clamp to the fuel hose, then release the fuel hose from the carburetor. Pull the carburetor forward enough to detach the throttle rod. Detach the throttle spring, and you can fully remove the carburetor. Use the 10mm socket to unthread the bottom screw to release the carburetor bowl. Slide out the pin to remove the float and needle assembly. Before you install the new carburetor repair kit components, we recommend using carburetor cleaner to clean out the carburetor ports. Align the spring on the needle, then position the needle on the float. Align the needle and float on the carburetor, then insert the pin to hold the assembly in place. Position the bowl gasket and bowl, keeping the drain screw facing toward the primer hose inlet port. Align the new gasket on the screw, then thread the screw to secure the bowl. Confirm the outlet gasket is in place next to the insulator, then slide the carburetor back onto the bolts. Reattach the throttle spring and rod to the carburetor. Attach the fuel hose, then remove the pinch clamp. Slide the intake gasket onto the mounting bolts. Reposition the control housing, then thread and tighten the mounting nuts. Connect the wires to the key switch terminals. Attach the primer hose to the carburetor. Reposition the muffler cover and thread the 6 bolts to secure. Reposition the handle assembly and rethread the upper bolts. Align the 2 retaining clamps and thread the screws to secure the housing to the handle. Rethread the mounting bolt to secure the housing to the rear bracket. Your snowblower should now be ready for use.